I find the divide of video games very intriguing. Being raised an only child, and on top of that, a girl, I had very few competitive or popular video games. I was never interested in shooting games like Halo or Call of Duty. I had simple handheld games like Hamtaro and Frogger. Eventually, my parents bought a Wii, after being sucked into the appeal of using Wii Fit and the allure of working out in front of the television. That fad lasted about 6 months, and no one has touched the Wii now in over 5 years. I never even owned an Xbox 360 or PS3 because the games that were most popular with those systems never interested me. I also found that you sometimes need to be interacting with people over the internet to reach the full potential on those games. And that wasn't an option for me because it seemed very complicated to get into and none of my friends did it. I'd like to use this video to discuss the different elements that are seen within games and why they seem to cause a divide between boys and girls. Robin Honig, Mark LeBlanc, and Robert Zubek divided games into 3 different categories: mechanics, dynamics, and aesthetics. The MDA model, as an acronym, provides useful tools for thought that we can use to analyze games in a different light. In a game like Halo, for example, you really need to master all 3 of these parts equally in order to really attract a player and to keep them around. If there are no rules in place as mechanics, then the whole thing might fall apart as it becomes a free-for-all. The dynamics are important because they cause the game to play out in a certain way, based on the way it was written, either smoothly or rough with poor graphics. Finally, the aesthetics are what brings the player into the universe that the game is taking place in, and that is what make or breaks a user's experience. However, in a more unisex or girl-oriented game, such as The Sims, I think that these categories are a little different and have a different importance associated within them. Mechanics of a game like The Sims is very loose. It's a world that is very similar to our own, unlike Halo, where there are aliens and guns everywhere. So the mechanics are very real and lifelike. Therefore, the dynamics are not as impacted, and there are virtually no surprises, because there is not much to change around. But the aesthetics are scrutinized more, because it is more noticeable when a human runs strangely than when an alien might. I think that this increase in importance of aesthetics is what may cause a divide between the genders. Halo and other shooting games are very dark. They often take place in a dystopia, or even on a different planet, like in the game Destiny. This element of fantasy is attractive to boys, as it gives them a place to play make-believe. There is also an element of challenge that is present in these kind of games that tends to not be as present in girls' games. Games like The Sims are a little brighter. They are more time-consuming in some ways, but they tend to not have as many obstacles. There is more of a wide array of things to do. The games tend to be submission-oriented, as The Sims is a real-time based game. There is also a distinct social framework in place, also known as fellowship. This is also seen in games like Animal Crossing, where you have a very dialogue-based game. There are many ways that games are divided among girls and boys, and there is no bulletproof argument for why girls can't play shooter games and why boys can't play The Sims. The MDA model just helps us put the games into a different perspective.